I've talked to other friends who do charting, and I've looked at numbers, and I've also looked at the logarithmic chart briefly. And I do believe.
Hey guys, my name's Chun Weng, and you are witnessing history because we are launching the first episode of the Crypto Kopitiam. Usually what happens is that I talk to the camera and the camera doesn't talk back, but today I have a few friends with me. But before I talk about our special guest today, I do want to introduce you guys to KC, a recurring co-host on the show. So KC is what I would call a community builder. He is involved in all of the largest crypto communities in Malaysia, including Bitcoin Malaysia and also Binance Malaysia. He's also a gem spotter. You know how you always have that one friend who always knows the best place to eat or the best place to hang out at. Yeah, but imagine that for crypto. One of his more notable early gems would be Binance Coin in 2018, for example. Casey, why don't you introduce yourself first?
Hey everybody, I'm Casey, and yeah, I'm not really a crypto gem hunter. I just invested in some project very early on. I would say like
Humble.
that there's some luck in it also. So um, other than that, I'm a community builder. So as Chun said, my most notable the most notable community that I built up is Binance Malaysia, which has grown to like 2 to 3,000 members, and it is actually an official Binance group, so community group. So yeah, that's about it. And yeah, Chumeng, who is with us today right here?
So today we have Ross. Ross is not
Hello.
just an MC, he's also an educator, and more notably, at least for the crypto space, he is the main host, the current main host for Fyro Crypto. Ross, welcome to the show.
Hi guys, it's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about crypto with you guys. I'm always excited to talk to people about crypto. It's exciting. I'm excited about it, and I love teaching people about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're everywhere in the crypto space, so you know.
that is true.
Yeah, you'll see my hair here, there, everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, the hair helps lah, but even without the hair, you're everywhere, So
Yeah, it's a growing space. I just like to, there's so much happening. There's literally there are groups sprouting out all over the place, and wherever I can learn something new, I just put myself there and see what I can get.
Very curious to know, right? Like, how did you stumble upon crypto, and like, what was the first thing that really attracted you to crypto actually?
Right. So I actually heard about crypto when I was in university. So this was like 2016, 2017, when not that many people in Malaysia were talking about it, right? I had maybe one friend who was like, "Oh, Ross, this digital payment is going to be the future." And I didn't believe it. I thought it was a big Ponzi scam. And in fact, I even remember writing a Facebook post about how crypto is just a giant bubble. It's like the tulip mania. It's going to crash. And then it did crash. And then it fulfilled the prophecy. I was like, oh my God, I'm a prophet now. I can see the future. And what I did not do is that I didn't understand the technology behind it. Yes, it was a bit of a bubble in 2017, so I was right about that. And people were just overly crazy about it. But then later on, another friend reintroduced me to crypto just at the beginning of lockdown in Malaysia. So this was in was it last year? I can't even remember when was lockdown. When lockdown first started, when COVID-19 was like spreading and started around early 2020, I was just coming back from the US at the time. And when I came back, everything was in lockdown. So we really cannot go out of the house as well. And so my friend introduced me to crypto again and said, hey, why don't you try investing in this? I've got a platform that I use. And it was a bot trading platform. So you buy some crypto from elsewhere, put it into the trading platform, and then the bots will trade every day and give you back a percentage return. And the returns were good. It wasn't like astronomically high, but it was really good. And it also operated on an MLM scheme system. So you bring in more people, you get more benefits, which for some people is a bit of a red flag. But I did my research, I looked at the company, I thought it was good. So that's how I started again into crypto. And then what I did was I bought some Ethereum. I'll never forget because I bought Ethereum when it was 123 US dollars. I remember the price, 123 USD.
Good.
Oh my God.
I know, right? I bought like 7 Ethereums and I sold almost all of it because I needed to pay. Yeah, I know. That's the worst part. I sold it a few months after I bought it, after it appreciated in price. Like it went from $100 to $300. I was like, wow, I made 3 times the money. And then I used the money to pay back my dad for a car loan that he paid first. So I was like, okay, I cashed out the profits. I used it for what I wanted to do, which is pay back the loan. And I was like, okay, so it seems like crypto does have some value. And that is when I started investigating more, understanding more, learning more. And at that time, it was still pretty early. I mean, there wasn't really that many resources yet. Now, of course, with the boom and everything, there's so much more available. And so I started my journey like that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but
cool.
that's crazy, man. Like you bought it, bought in around $170 US. That's like
Yeah.
really early in the game, actually.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of people think, right? So Casey and I were talking about this, right? But a lot of people think, right, that just because you invest early, right, then automatically people assume that you're like a multi-millionaire already. But
No,
but,
it's not true.
but
Yeah.
holding the asset and really believing in it, right? It's very, very different. What do you guys think? Yeah.
I think that's definitely true. Like a lot of people say, if you invest Bitcoin in 2014 or 2015, those guys are multimillionaire. But the fact is, I think a lot of them actually sell when Bitcoin reached $1,000 or maybe $10,000. They couldn't hold it through because like a gain is a gain, right? A lot of people we have seen market crashes, we have seen market gone up a lot, but we never know how the market will go. So I think a lot of people they just couldn't hold it through because like this, in a sense, for a lot of people, still an investment device. It's not something like they hold on their life.
Yeah. The most of my friends who are millionaires in crypto were already millionaires before crypto. Just crypto made them even more millionaires. You know what I mean? So they were already rich businessmen, and then they just invested in crypto. And because it's such a volatile asset, when the market goes up, they make even more, right? So they were already rich before crypto. Very few people I know who were like holding on and then became rich because of crypto, unless they put in a lot of money. I only know one person like that because he started in 2009. So this uncle, he was in it for the philosophy. He was in it for the decentralization and against the government and all that. So he believed in the technology and the philosophy, and he understood it. He was a full-time trader. He got it. He was like the first group of Malaysian Bitcoin investors when it was not, nobody knew about it. So he's the only one, I think, one of the very few I know who's like millionaire because
he's an anonymous person, is it? Usually
he
most of
doesn't
these
want to be
guys,
known publicly.
yeah, these guys are all unknowns one.
Correct.
If you look at all of their profiles, right, they
don't
like,
have any social
yeah,
media. They don't.
nothing.
Yeah,
They have
don't.
like laser eyes, lah. Like that's the only thing that's common between all of them. So
Yeah.
that's what I noticed, lah, at the very least. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I joined crypto for the money. I didn't know much about the technology until after it made me money. Then I was like, oh, let me try and understand the
I
technology.
just want to say here in this podcast that there is
Yeah.
no shame in joining crypto for the money, right?
Mm.
I think a lot of people get a lot of flack just for saying like, oh, I do it. I'm joining it for the money. Or you're not joining it for the technology. You don't believe in the philosophy. You know, things like that. So yeah, lah. That's what I want to say, lah, at the very least.
Yeah,
right.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so so just to continue the story, after you did that, did anything else happen and things like that that sort of spark this need to kind of like, educate people and things like that, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I've always been an educator. My background, I used to teach psychology at Sunway College. I was teaching psychology for the A-level students. Before that, I was actually teaching English part-time at Monash. And I've always enjoyed teaching. I've always enjoyed teaching people, educating them, helping make complicated concepts easier to understand. So when I had this community of friends who are all investing in the same platform, the crypto trading platform, many of them were also beginners, and they would ask questions like, what is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? And the teacher and me would naturally respond on WhatsApp and start typing and everything. And then my friends, okay, Ross, why don't you like become like the teacher? And then you can, so, and then I would start hosting like little sessions on Zoom to teach people the basics about crypto. Every Thursday, I did a 2-hour Zoom session, and I got a lot of response every week. Like 20, 30 people would join, and they would tell their friends, and I would help them understand what is Bitcoin, because it is not easy for a lay person to understand at times. And I'm just motivated by wanting to help other people understand. Like once I found something that works and I think is good and valuable and can make money and can help, I would love to share it with people. And so that's always been, I think, on my heart. And that motivates me to become an educator. Also, unfortunately, the trading platform I invested in went bust, and was like one of the staff stole the Bitcoins and ran away. And then the whole company is now going under liquidation and investigation. So a lot of people lost money there. And that just motivated us to go and do even more research to DIY everything ourselves. Rather than, the only two hands I can trust are my own two hands. But in order to do work, I need to go and study more. So in a sense, having lost money there made me more conscious of being more responsible and being even better teacher to help others as well, avoid the risks that are very inherent in crypto. Yeah.
Yeah, Ross, about that, right? Your recent venture into YouTube, Viral Crypto,
Yep.
is very interesting. But I have one question. So there's already a lot of like crypto educational video on YouTube.
Yep.
So what makes your video different from theirs, and what is the standout?
Yeah, that's a good question. I asked myself as well. I don't think I have necessarily got a standout difference from other crypto educators on YouTube. The small differences that I feel I do make is, for example, I try to avoid shilling of shit coins. I try to avoid talking just about numbers, and crypto is going to go to 100K, 120K, because I realize that a lot of other videos I've seen tend to focus a lot on those kind of things like the numbers game and stuff like that, and the clickbait sort of like, oh my god, crypto is going, it's like this. So I've seen all those videos, and I as an educator, I'm not fond. Sorry, Chun Weng, I'm not trying to target you. But there's a time and place for those videos, and I think those videos get people interested as well. But I tend to be a bit more of a conservative YouTuber lah. So I'm a little bit boring, for lack of a better word, in that sense. Does that make me different? I don't know. I've heard some good comments and positive feedback from my videos. One of the feedback that I usually get is I make concepts which are complicated a bit easier for people to understand. And I tend to be very passionate when I bring across those concepts through video. And so I think that makes me a little bit different from others, perhaps. It's just my unique style of presenting. But you're right. I don't see like a huge difference between my videos and others. And I'm exploring some options with some my other two friends. So Viral Crypto that I do, I partner with three other guys. Two of them are in the stocks background, and then one of them does our video editing and stuff. And so even today, this morning, we were discussing like, okay, I want to experiment and try different ways of recording this, and how many cameras I need and stuff like that, to try a different approach. And so that's in the works. But for now, we just wanted to kind of like just start a channel, because for the longest time, people have been telling me to do something and I never did it. So I thought, okay, let's just start simple. We do some simple, easy videos and then grow from there.
Okay, so but in my defense, right, I use clickbait, but I never show any coins. Yeah,
That's good.
right?
Yeah. You didn't show.
Yeah.
You talk
I
about
use
Ethereum, so
clickbait,
that's
right?
fine. That's fine.
But I never show any coins. Yeah.
I'm not attacking you, Chun Weng. I like your videos. I share them with my friends. I'm like, these are good videos.
But yeah, okay. But that aside,
But yeah.
okay, let's move on to the next topic that I do want to ask you, right? What's your experience like being, you and I are, in a weird kind of way, we are squeezed somewhere in the middle, right? Because you are in between people that literally know nothing about crypto, right? And then there are people that know so much about crypto, like they live crypto, like KC over here, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, how unique is your experience actually in this whole thing? Because for me, right, personally, right, I have met some people. Most people are very chill, very nice. Communities are always very helpful and things like that. But there are some people that are very, very extreme. So you have extremists from like both sides of the really like the spectrum, right? You have some people that are like, crypto is a scam, it's a Ponzi scheme and things like that, right? And then you also have people that are like, what? Crypto is everything, people that don't see it, don't deserve it and things like that. So where do you stand at that point of intersection? And especially in the Malaysian context, like, what do you think?
Yeah, that's quite challenging. Like you mentioned, you outlined, the extremists on both sides, and then the people who really don't know anything. And so I tend to focus on people who absolutely know nothing but want to know, and I try to teach them the very basics just so that they understand the concept, right? So anybody who comes to me asking for knowledge, as a teacher, I'm more than happy to give them that knowledge, and that's what I like. I like people like that, who ask questions, who want to know, genuinely want to learn. The ones that I don't particularly like are the ones who already know and then look down on others who don't know. And they say things like, have fun, stay poor, which I really don't like. And oftentimes it's not just told in a joking manner, it's told in a mocking manner, right? They're mocking people who don't know, or who might say that, oh, crypto is risky, I don't want to invest, have fun, stay poor. You know what I mean? So you're not educating anyone about anything there. And to me, then you're like, how are you building the community? But I guess that's not on the agenda lah. My agenda would be to educate and to teach people more and so on and so forth. Like for example, my YouTube videos or my questions on Facebook pages, like investment groups. Now I'll ask a question, people say like, I don't really see the value in Bitcoin. I don't see how it's valuable. So then I'll share my video and explain that, I think it's valuable for this and reason, rather than saying, okay lah, don't invest lah, have fun, say poor lah, you know what I mean? So, and I've seen people do that. And so I think as a bridge between the lay person and the non-lay person, I have to be as neutral as possible and constantly maintain this idea that, I'm here to educate. I'm not here to, put you down. I'm not here to tell you that I'm better than you. I also came from a place where I had no idea what crypto was before 2018, 2019. I didn't know a thing. And, now that I do know, I want to share that knowledge. So I'm always coming from that position that I want you to learn something. And if you learn something, great. If you don't want it and you still think it's too risky, I'm okay with that as well. So I think that would be the appropriate position to have. But that's just where I come from.
About that, right? The whole you do Zoom and you do YouTube, I think you have interact with a lot Malaysians. So I just wanted to know what do you think Malaysian, are they actually open-minded towards crypto, or they are not
Yeah, so actually, I've done little surveys with the Zoom classes that I've done. So my Zoom classes, I think I've reached about 600-700 people already on weekly Zoom for about 3-4 months when I was doing it. I've stopped doing that for now. Now I'm doing the YouTube more. And when I ask people, are you willing to invest in crypto after the Zoom? And most of them say yes. Not necessarily, I think, because of my Zoom convincing them. My Zoom, I think, just gives them a bit more confidence to do it. But the reason why most people in Malaysia are coming into crypto is because of FOMO. At least that's what my experience looking at it lah. From the groups that I can see, a lot of people are just like, wow, the price is going up, I want to go in. And a lot of my friends go in when the price is high. And when the price is high, as you know, it will drop lah. Then you're like, oh my God, what's going on? So I had a friend, for example, I can share this case study. Bitcoin was like reaching 40K at the time, 46K, right? 46, 50K like that. So he went in, he put in like, I don't know how much he put in, 40,000 ringgit, I think, something like that, like 30, 40,000 ringgit, just threw in like at one go, didn't DCA, didn't come for my class, didn't ask me nothing, just went and threw it in because of FOMO.
Oh yeah, we might want to explain what DCA is to
viewers. So FOMO, first of all, is fear of missing out. You feel like someone's getting a benefit and you're missing out, so you go in immediately without studying anything. That's FOMO. And then DCA is dollar cost average, which means that unlike my friend, for example, he made a mistake. He put in 30,000 ringgit at one go, right? He bought at once. Rather than DCA would be you buy maybe 500 today, 500 next month, and then you split it across months so that you don't go in all at once. Because when you go in all at once, there's too much risk. So he put in all at once. And I remember this conversation he had with me. It's like, okay, Ross, I'm so excited. I try. He put it all in. Then I told him, why didn't you come for my class? I would have explained it to you. This is not the rate. Why did you do it? He's like, no, it's okay. I'm very confident. I'm like, how can you be confident if you don't know what you're investing in? And then it dropped, right? The market dropped from 46. It corrected to like 30K. And then he lost about 10,000 ringgit worth of value. He panicked and he sold everything, right? And he was telling me, I was like, just hold it. And then he just panicked, sold at a loss. And then the market went back up to 50K, 60K. And I was like,
oh no.
So then he bought in again more expensive, but he already realized his losses. So then he attended my class after losing 10K. Then he understood. Now he's like, okay, Ross, next time I do this, please convince me not to do it. I'm like, okay, fine. Now you understand. So that's kind of been my experience with Malaysians. They tend to, unfortunately, come in due to FOMO because they don't really understand what they're investing in. Also because Bitcoin is really easy to invest in compared to like opening a stocks account. In Bitcoin, I can literally, with my phone, in 5 minutes, I'm done. You know what I mean? So the barrier to entry is so low. And so people just straight away go in thinking that they can make money.
Yeah,
and so I think that's...
But it's probably not like a Malaysian thing. Like I think it's just a beginner thing, It's like people go in and then they're like, oh, I hope to make big gains. And then usually the ones
because
who stay,
that's what the narrative is, everybody just puts out 100x, 1000x, I made so much money. And that's all I see in the Facebook groups, how much money people are making. Nobody is actually understanding what is the blockchain, how does it work. Everybody just wants to know, how can I deposit so much money and earn so much money? While I see the value in earning money as well, I think a lot of people get burned along the way when they don't understand.
Yeah, but most people want to make the gains, but I think it's very important that people know where the money is coming from also. It doesn't hurt to really kind of dive in to know, okay, like where is this money coming from? When those shoots up to like, 10x or something like that, right? The money is coming from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And especially in this kind of really new environment, right? I feel like there are there are a lot of whales manipulating the market. I think for people that don't know what whales are like. Ross, you want
Very
to explain
rich
that first?
guy.
Yeah.
People who own a lot of
Yeah, the easy
Yeah.
explanation is very
Bitcoin.
rich guy.
Yeah.
very rich guy.
Like a rich person owns one Bitcoin, a whale owns like thousands of Bitcoins, something like that. Yeah. But okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's move on to our next section actually. So in our next section, we do want to talk a little bit about this thing, which is totally not financial advice, right? This section where we talk a little bit about our own opinions. So let's start off with this, right? I mean, you talk a lot about Bitcoin, but we do have this logarithmic chart, right? That mentioned that Bitcoin is going to hit about 100,000, and it's a story that keeps getting thrown out again and again and again. Like from your point of view, right? How true do you think this is? And if I'm not mistaken, right, the logarithmic chart says that we are still in a bull run, right? And we should be hitting about 100K US dollar per Bitcoin by the end of this year. What do you think? Like, are you bullish or bearish on this sentiment? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think I've talked to other friends who do charting, and I've looked at numbers, and I've also looked at the logarithmic chart briefly. And I do believe we are still in a bull run, right? In spite of our corrections, unless we drop past 20K, then we're not in bull run anymore. But for now, we still are in the bull run, and I believe that people are still very bullish. I am still very bullish about Bitcoin up until towards the end of the year before we go back into another 4-year cycle of crypto winter. But even then also, I actually don't think it will be, I don't think this year will be the same as other years, mainly because of the institutional investors which are coming in. Like, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, they're all planning to launch crypto ETF funds and index funds and stuff in crypto, which have never been seen before, never even considered before. In the previous 2017 bull run, it was just a mania. Everybody was just crazy about it, but there was no institutional backing. Right now, people are coming in, investors are coming in. Mark Cuban is talking about it, Kevin O'Leary, Shark Tank people, big banks are talking about it, coming into countries are now accepting Bitcoin, which was not the case in the past. So I'm not entirely sure if we will follow the exact same 4-year cycle that we've seen before. I think it will be a little bit different. I do believe Bitcoin can hit 100K. I don't think it will be easy though. I think it will be a bit difficult, particularly not because the numbers don't add up, but because of the psychological barrier. I think it will hit like 90K and then it will struggle to go to 100. Like everybody will be selling it, right, at 90K, thinking that, psychologically it's very hard to go across to 100. Just like how it was hard for Bitcoin to reach 50K, right? Because psychologically that seems like a barrier number, right? And, do I believe it can hit 100K? I do. Whether it hits it at the end of this year, I'm not entirely sure, right? Because the market seems at this point in the middle of the year a little bit unsteady, right? As we've seen, it's corrected quite heavily, right? From 60K, it dropped to 30K. It was about 100% correction, a drop, right? So that's quite extreme. That's the biggest drop Bitcoin has had over a few days, if I remember correctly, when I was looking at the charts. So, if people are still bullish in general, definitely, but there is still some uncertainty in the market. I think over long term, however, I'm still bullish for Bitcoin.
What do you think, KC?
Yeah, I'm actually agree a lot with what Ross said. I think like, well, if you know me personally, you know I'm a very bullish guy. But I just want to say like, a lot of market sentiments depends on how everyone in the market will react, and everyone has this psychological thinking like, okay, since the news said like we will reach 100K, and they're looking at the past history, like every time the news say this price target, it will have a crash later on, so they will start selling it around like 90K, 80K. They take profit there. So that's just what I think. Yeah, about that, Ross. So we are in the Malaysian market, so we use Luno Malaysia a lot. What's your top 3 crypto in Luno Malaysia and why?
My personal top 3, Bitcoin, Ethereum. If I had to choose a third, I would probably say Litecoin lah. But I know Malaysians love XRP. That's all they talk about, XRP. Every day is XRP. I'm not a personal fan of XRP, although I know a lot of Malaysians in Luno like it, possibly because it's very cheap. So, when it's such a cheap coin, it's easy to make profit lah. If it goes up, Personally, I still prefer the major coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I used to have some Litecoin. I don't have anymore. I don't own any what's the other? BCH. So Bitcoin Cash, I own 0, and XRP I own 0 as well. So I generally don't prefer those two coins after doing my research about them.
Okay, but why is here's very surprising. This is very surprising to me at least. Like, why is Litecoin in your top 3 list? Simply because I think the most generic list, right, is like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. So even for me, it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. So what makes Litecoin stand out for you? Like what,
I think the only thing that makes Litecoin stand out for me is narrative, because the narrative of Litecoin is that it's the silver to Bitcoin's gold. That's a very powerful narrative, and it has lasted. I forgot when was Litecoin, 2012 was it? Yeah. Anyway, when 2011 or 2012, I think Litecoin was first created. I can't remember the exact date, but and that narrative has stayed, for all this time, and it has remained bullish for all this time, and it seems very highly correlated to Bitcoin. And so for those reasons, I think I'm fine with it. It's like if Bitcoin was a store of value, Litecoin is like the medium of exchange, kind of equivalent to Bitcoin. And so I can see that narrative, and I like that narrative a lot. I buy into it. I don't own any Litecoin at the current moment. I've taken profits of Litecoin, and so I don't own anymore. I still am very much focused on the first two. But since your question asked me to pick a third one, then my third one would have been Litecoin. I usually only talk about coins that I purchase. I don't usually talk or promote coins that I have never bought myself, because that means
Agreed.
I don't believe in it. Yeah.
Agree. All right. Okay. So we're gonna move to another section where we talk about snap reactions, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about a few coins here, and you only have about 1 to 2 seconds to
give your
express
reaction.
how you feel about these
So
coins,
exciting.
right?
Okay,
Very
sure.
exciting. So, Casey, you want to do the honors? I'll let you say the first coin or whatever.
Okay, so I will go first and then you go second, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Dogecoin.
Meme.
Matic.
Ooh, excellent potential.
Safe Moon.
What? Sorry?
Safe Moon.
Oh, scam.
You're gonna hurt a lot of people here. Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion, not financial advice.
Yep.
Cardano.
Cardano is ambitious but hasn't delivered.
Cool. That is a very cool take. Rocket.
Oh God, I would never invest in it. It's like if Doge is a meme, then Rocket is like 10 times the meme
Well.
without any value. At least Doge makes people laugh.
But I think like people are buying in because like Elon Musk tweeted something similar to it.
I know, I saw he put the names of the countries, was it? And then he spelled out COM. I'm like, if that is your reason for investing, I'm like, as an educator, my conscience will not allow me to do such things. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we've had a pretty long conversation already, and right now we're gonna tie it up with. Since you're an educator, we do want you to sort of explain in very simple terms, right, what Bitcoin is.
Sure. Yeah. So the easiest way I can explain Bitcoin is the 3 keywords: digital, decentralized, currency. Digital, because Bitcoin is something that has no physical component. Everything is just numbers online. It's stored all online on a blockchain. So just keep in mind, it's one, digital. Decentralized means that nobody fully owns and controls Bitcoin. It's not controlled by a government, not controlled by a bank, not controlled by a single individual. That's why we call it decentralized, because everyone who participates in the network is part of the Bitcoin network, right? So that makes it decentralized. There's no singular control. So it's digital, it's all online. Decentralized, no singular control. The people control it, whoever participates. And the last one is currency. Now, the initial, the initial intent of Bitcoin from Satoshi was to create a currency payment system. It was meant to be a peer-to-peer payment system. That was the initial goal. It has unfortunately transformed a little bit into a store of value, but it's still within that similar narrative. So that's how I would explain what Bitcoin is. It is a digital currency that is decentralized and can be used to pay for things or transfer between people without the control of a government. That's basically it.
Okay, thank you so much, Ross, for joining the Crypto Kopitiam. And if there's anything else that you would like to say to our audience, feel free to plug or whatever.
Sure. So, hi guys. Thanks so much again for having me. Appreciate all of you who are listening in as well. So, once again, as Chun Weng has mentioned, I am running a company with some friends of mine. Our company is called Firal Crypto, FIRL Crypto. Many people usually ask, what does FIRL stand for? So, FIRL actually stands for finance in real life, right? We want to make cryptocurrency something that anybody on the street can understand. And if they do enjoy it, choose to invest in it as well. So, that's the vision of my company, is to help people grow wealth one Satoshi at a time. And so if you guys want to learn more, please follow me on Instagram. That's at Firal Crypto. So at FIRLCRYPTO. And you can see all the updates and everything there. We've got all our links on our bio. So once you go to my Instagram bio, you can go through any of the links and learn more. We're also going to be launching an ebook soon that's going to be free for everybody, and also a free webinar as well. So that's in the works, and that's coming out in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. Thank you.